This is Perugia, the temporary home of Fiorentina, their own stadium in nearby Florence, still being upgraded for the World Cup. But their opponents this afternoon, Milan, don't mind where they play at the moment. So impressive, 6 straight wins. They've dropped only 1 point in their last 11 matches. Fiorentina are in the UEFA Cup quarter-finals. They've beaten Atletico Madrid, Sochaux and Dynamo Kiev, but they've won only 4 league games all season. Milan now second, but back in September, they were held at home by Fiorentina. Fusa. Well, the shot was blocked, and he loves to shoot from long range. So too does Tassati! That's what you call a snapshot. Baggio. And an ooh of concern from the home supporters. Letizia, a clever back heel. Dell'Olio trying to force a way through. It's a freak goal. And it has to go down to Dell'Olio. Well, Antonio Dell'Olio, the scorer of that strange equaliser, is back from suspension today, but the Argentinian striker Oscar Letizia is still missing. The 2 other foreigners are fit and well, both in midfield, Carlos Dunga from Brazil and the Czechoslovakian Luboš Kubik. But the focal figure, the current golden boy of the Italian game, Roberto Baggio, whose departure at the end of the season has led to a section of Fiorentina fans boycotting these matches. Baggio possibly will go to Milan. Today's Milan lineup marks the return to the starting lineup of defender Filippo Galli. He's been out for 4 months. Milan are making light of the absence all season of Ruud Gullit, with Marco van Basten playing like 2 men at the moment. Bruno Giorgi is Fiorentina's coach. The World Club champions, wearing all white this afternoon, are in world-class form, and that's adding to the excitement in this Italian First Division season. It promises a thrilling finale. Fiorentina are very unpredictable, but the big games do tend to bring out the best in them, particularly Baggio, of course. And he'll want to show what he's made of. And maybe get a transfer into the bargain. The smart money seemed to be on a move to Juventus. But when Milan come sniffing around for a possible transfer, any player would want to see what was in the offing. Here he is, Roberto Baggio, 22 years old, and showing the range in his passing there, looking for the player breaking from midfield, who was Marco Nappi, the number 7. Good tackle by Dell'Olio. Fiorentina will desperately try to force the pace. They've fallen into Milan's offside trap, which is well practiced and very effective. Here's Donadoni. One for Van Basten to try and make something of. Well, Van Basten, 5 goals in his last 3 games, 12 in all this season. He's the leading scorer in the league, of course. Rijkaard. The width provided by Angelo Colombo, but not really the cross. Blocked by Battistini, the Fiorentina captain, a former Milan player. And that was eased on with a touch of class for Baggio. Again, he was hoping to squeeze a ball through to Nappi. And look at Franco Baresi getting in advance of Massaro to collect the pass. And already a fluent, fluid feel to the football. Fiorentina have gone 10 league matches without a victory. So, on form, there's only 1 winner here. But happily, football has that extra ingredient. Donadoni. Colombo. Tassotti and Massaro and Van Basten all making themselves, or trying to make themselves available. Donadoni has to play it back. Baresi, well, I don't think he was aiming for Rijkaard, but that's where the pass went. Maldini. Oh, it's a wonderful idea by Rijkaard. Massaro, who had 5 seasons here with Fiorentina in the early 80s, was moving away to the right to make space, and the pass just passed beyond him. Must have been quite frustrating for Milan recently. They've kept on winning and winning convincingly, to find that Napoli haven't played with such conviction in their matches, but they've given very little away. Tassotti's cross. Battistini dealing with it with difficulty and complaining to Volpacina that he might have taken more of the responsibility then. And Donadoni will take the corner, hoping to find Fiorentina still a little fraught with each other. Donadoni again. They're lining up in the centre. Rijkaard, who's very effective in the air, was trying to come in from beyond the far post. Baresi! Oh, that was close. He's not scored in the league this season. He did get a hat-trick in a cup tie quite recently. All of those goals, though, were penalties. It is a corner. And Fiorentina at the moment penned back into their own penalty area. Paolo Maldini's coming in. Here's Filippo Galli. And Baggio having to help out with the defending. Maldini. Oh, that was a stray one by Carlo Ancelotti. And they start from Baresi and then Rijkaard. Nappi scurrying to try and keep the ball in play. He hasn't achieved that. This was the moment when Baresi moved on to that audacious flick from Ancelotti, and it just brushed the fingertips of Landucci. Ancelotti. The foul by Volpacina on Massaro. Ancelotti loves to shoot from outside the penalty area himself, and well, Van Basten will shoot from anywhere. And you're very relieved as an opponent when it goes wide. Van Basten turned that attempted shot into a pass, and very nearly a goal. Kubik, who came to Fiorentina after a spell in England with Derby County, where he was never officially registered after something of a defection from his homeland. But all has been solved and he's playing legitimately here. Baggio pressing on for Fiorentina. And tucked back by Maldini. Van Basten a little short of support. Iachini. Oh, he's a thoroughbred, Paolo Maldini. Milan playing already with plenty of pace and so much quality. Fiorentina trying to match them. That's an interesting run from Napi. Oh, and the goalkeeper fumbled it behind him. But not within the range of the one Fiorentina forward who'd got into the near post area, Renato Busso. Casali, who's taken over from Giovanni Galli in the league this season. Iachini, Battistini. Well, 20 minutes in which Milan tried so hard to make their mark on the score sheet, but have failed so far. Van Basten being held up by Pioli, who can't prevent the cross. Rijkaard felt he was being pushed in the back by Kubik, and turns and looks questioningly at Carlo Longhi. Battistini. This ground here in Perugia has been quite lucky for Fiorentina. They've used it before this season, particularly in their European games. They play the French club Auxerre in the quarter-finals of the UEFA Cup. But their European form vastly better than their league form. Great work by Tassotti for Milan. Also in Europe, of course, in the Champions competition. They're the holders. Massaro, Donadoni. Fiorentina just beginning to show some signs of holding their own and getting some real self-belief after a rather nerve-wracking start. Dunga. Sure to be with Brazil in the World Cup. Oh, and Baggio has got away from Filippo Galli. He's gone down. Oh, and the penalty is given. And to my mind, Casali, the goalkeeper, played the ball. And that decision is not a just one. And Casali so furious that he gets the yellow card. Certainly worth another look. Filippo Galli and Baresi caught out by the pass between them. Baggio took it up to the goalkeeper. Oh, well, maybe with the trailing arm, he did catch him. The first time he certainly played the ball there. But watch the other. What happens now? Was that deliberate? Well, the referee thought it was. You'll have to make your own minds up. But it's going to be a penalty, and that means Baggio again. "23 minutes gone. Fiorentina have had to defend for most of those minutes. But they lead through the calmest of penalties. And Baggio is the hero of Fiorentina again. He's earned the penalty, however contentious it was, and he's scored it. That's his 12th goal of the season, and he's 6 out of 6 from the penalty spot. Massaro chasing. Well, you can bet that the news has already reached Naples, where Napoli are at home to Cremonese. And there'll be a tremendous roar from the Napoli fans. Casali, incidentally, played for a couple of seasons here with Perugia. Not a happy return. Back from Dell'Olio. Fiorentina now in a position where they're taking their time. Nappy with a little bit more purpose to his play, and it's a bit unfortunate for him that it didn't bring any reward. But you wouldn't feel that Fiorentina were capable of holding out and defending a one-goal lead. Although in Europe they have done that with substantial success. But it's given a fascinating perspective to this match. One that would have been lacking. Here's Donadoni. Oh, and it's a whisker away beyond the far post. I was going to say, if Milan had scored first, the game might have developed on a more predictable course. Very close to an equaliser. No one coming in to round it off at the far post. The reason Milan are only now second is that they had a very poor start to the season. Really coming to terms with the serious injury to Ruud Gullit, and Van Basten was out as well. But once Van Basten came back, suddenly everything started to fall into place. But they won't want to go another goal adrift here, and Baggio takes on Baresi. That was 1-up to the Milan captain. Ancelotti. Baresi wasting no time in playing the pass, and just a little too quick for Frank Rijkaard then. Nappy. Prepared to chase everything. And that's what Fiorentina surely have to do, is continue with their work rate and just hope that they've got Milan on an off day. Tassotti, but there's the only thing off about that is the offside. It was pacey and penetrating again. And they're playing well enough. Van Basten will realise that. But they're a goal behind. Rijkaard making Iachini do the chasing back. This is Massaro. Donadoni, who's not a great scorer of goals, but a terrific provider of chances. And another one here from Rijkaard. Well, they are getting closer and closer. And Fiorentina finding it hard to keep Donadoni at bay, and they're not picking up Rijkaard in the centre. Helped on by Busso. Nappy has made a run a little too far to the left from Fiorentina's point of view. Maldini. Fiorentina a little slow to come out then. Battistini might have got to that ball. As we move into stoppage time, Maldini, they're moving players all over the place, Milan, to try and solve their problem. Tassotti's throw. They've got to get the ball into the middle quickly, one would think. And they did, through Tassotti. Arrigo Sacchi showing all the frustration that the players must be feeling as well. They've performed pretty capably, but they were on the wrong end of a penalty decision. Busso, who was signed from Juventus. We're moving deeper into the time that Carlo Longhi is choosing to add on. The Fiorentina supporters desperate to hear the half-time whistle. Filippo Galli. Tassotti, who got the goal in the 1-1 draw in the San Siro Stadium back in September. But a draw here for Milan. Not really good enough in their present circumstances. They've got to keep on winning, but at half-time they're going to go in a goal down. Roberto Baggio's name always conspicuous whenever Fiorentina play. The penalty was earned by him, although Milan will say it was dubious, and scored by him. Fiorentina 1, Milan 0. That's the half-time score. Fiorentina kick off for the second half, and Milan have made a substitution at half-time. They've taken off Colombo and brought on another renowned midfield player, Alberigo Evani. Evani, who's really made a name for himself this season by scoring the goal that won the World Club Championship in Tokyo, and also the goal that beat Barcelona in the European Super Cup as well. He's a little terrier in midfield, the number 14, left-sided. Baresi. Van Basten. Well, Marco Van Basten just showing a little irritation. He will remember, there's been plenty of publicity about it this week, that he was sent off in this fixture last season. I think the only time he's ever had a red card. Although the game was not played on this ground, it was in Florence. A right card. Baggio got the bounce of the ball and found players breaking to his left. Dell'Olio was one of them. Oh, and the flag has stayed down. Kubik. And Milan wonder again about a marginal decision, but they do play square at the back, and just occasionally it's going to let them down. Dell'Olio waited. Well, it was very close. The arms were raised in appeal, but Kubik got on with the job, and Fiorentina, incredibly, are 2 up against a team which has looked really unstoppable in recent months. So Arrigo Sacchi, having made a change at half-time, finds that what his team now have to do has been doubled. Pain of a different kind for Baresi, like around the left knee. Filippo Galli was right in there. Every clearance will be cheered to the rafters by the Fiorentina fans. What a start to the second half. Well, I'm not sure how much they can understand the message. The players will know well enough that they're in a fairly desperate plight. Certainly an unusual situation for them, but Fiorentina panicking with Volpacina. Massara, great save by Landucci, who roared off his line. The danger hasn't passed. Iachini and Kubik, who's something of a strolling player, did that all very calmly. Busso. Baggio not wasting a ball. There was no margin for error then. But Fiorentina got a little complacent here. Volpacina was harassed into the mistake by Massaro, but that was excellent work by Landucci. Massaro's flick, and it's going to be a corner of Kubik. Everything done by Milan at the run now. Van Basten waiting for Ivani to chase over there and line up the corner. Oh, Donadoni seemed to just spin away from him as it bounced. Baggio pressing Filippo Galli all the way. Baresi, it is a cracking game. Milan have been so mighty, but the mighty in danger of falling here. Massaro. Donadoni. Oh, Van Basten might get there. Maldini. Here's Ivani. They must have wondered whether a goal would ever come. But Ivani's only been on 10 minutes, and he's done the trick. And it's back to 2-1. Landucci couldn't really punch decisively off Maldini, and Ivani with his right foot. And this season he has developed a happy knack of scoring when it really matters. Fiorentina will be starting to fret now. Oh, that was superb by Ancelotti. Rijkaard. And the magic of this game really is that Fiorentina have done so much to make Milan really flex their muscles. They're playing at full power, at full tilt. Ivani. Oh, Van Basten's pulled away and was looking to knock it down for Ancelotti. There have been times over this almost impeccable run where Milan have won rather too easily. They've been able to rein things in and just do enough. Tassotti. Van Basten. Massaro! That was a great block. Fiorentina looking, if they lose another goal, that they might fall apart. Will their nerve hold? They've got to continue their belief. Ivani, oh, is it handball? It is! It's a penalty, and Battistini is the culprit. Another twist to the tail. Nappi thought he had been fouled. Well, the referee was well placed. When you need a penalty to be converted, if you had to pick one player, Marco van Basten would be very high on your list. And Milan have selected him again. Against Marco Landucci, who this season has saved a penalty from Maradona. But he can't stop Van Basten. Two-two. And Milan beginning to believe there is some justice. Fiorentina feeling exactly the opposite. Sotti turns away from Busso, spurning the back pass. The mood is right now, and they're getting their reward. Out by Volpacina. And again, Nappi goes down with a grimace, and I would think a yell. Graziani, the old Italian World Cup player, amongst the crowd. Absolutely captivated by this. Donadoni. Oh, and Maldini didn't really appreciate that pass. 2-2, but psychologically Milan very much in the ascendancy. Rijkaard. Ancelotti to his left. Through the middle is... oh, my word. Massaro was the player who has won another penalty, the third of the game, the second for Milan. And Carlo Longhi, with the courage of his convictions. Volpacina adjudged to have pushed Massaro, who seemed as happy to fall as Volpacina did after him. Well, this is absolutely astonishing. 5 minutes apart, the two Milan awards. Now, what will Van Basten do here? Sometimes clubs prefer to have a second man to step up for a second penalty if they get two in one game. But Milan trust Van Basten, and he deserves that faith. He made it look casual. It certainly wasn't. An incredible change in the second half. Fiorentina fought their way into a two-goal lead, and now Dell'Olio trying to get it back to 3-3 after Milan with 3 goals in 11 minutes have shown what championship class they do have. And if they keep playing like this, well, they play Napoli in the crunch game in a week's time in Milan. But I think for every neutral observing the Italian season, Milan are the team, certainly the team to watch. But they did have that bad start, and Arrigo Sacchi, who was under pressure then, is under a little bit of stress now as the referee puts him in his place, which is to stay in that dugout and keep his opinions to himself. Well, just a little bit of the steam has gone out of the game. That's understandable. It was simply red hot as Milan were put on their mettle. Fiorentina bewildered by what's happened to them, and they'll need to show some real personality now to find their way back into the game. And Baggio surrounded every time he gets near the ball. Van Basten on a hat-trick, of course, and that would be a freak if he got a hat-trick of penalties, coming so soon after Baresi's in the Italian Cup tie recently. Here's Pioli for Fiorentina. Baggio, and treated rudely there by Franco Baresi. Milan just don't want to let him settle even in his own half here. Kubik. And that's gone astray. Derisory jeers from the Milan supporters. It's going to be a change for Fiorentina. They're taking off Iachini for Bankeli. Baresi. Avani. Oh, and it's given away by Kubik. And Fiorentina really not doing themselves justice at the moment. They've been outmaneuvered by a fabulous side, having got into a very promising position themselves. The second substitute for Milan is young Marco Simone, the 21-year-old striker. And Massaro, who has worked so hard up alongside Van Basten, applauded by his own teammates and the Milan supporters as he goes off.
40° minuto del secondo tempo, per il Milan esce il numero 11 Massaro, entra il numero 16 Simone.
Simone with just 5 minutes of hard running Arrigo Sacchi will expect from him to make sure that Fiorentina stay occupied at the back. Rijkaard. All the tricks coming out from Milan, but the lead is still just 1, and any slip and much-needed victory, yet another much-needed victory in the chase after Napoli, could turn into a draw. 4 minutes on the clock, Ivani's away, he's in behind Battistini. Simone was scampering into the centre, but well away from it. Volpacina. Battistini. That was a push by Rijkaard. Oh, Battistini is a splendid natural jumper if they can serve the ball in the air towards him. They're going to have another opportunity to take the free kick. The referee wasn't exactly ready. Is Dell'Olio going to take it? No, he leaves it for Dunga. This could be awkward for Milan yet. Dunga curls it in, and that came off the back of Tassotti. Kubik couldn't quite retrieve it. When he scored at the start of the second half and Pazzagli was beaten for a second time, even with Milan's capabilities, I think it was beginning to stretch the imagination that we would be in a situation that the reality has turned out to be. But that spell of class and courage from Milan, really memorable. Produced 3 goals, but their offside trap is still there for the exploiting Nappi. And is it going to be another penalty? And Carlo Longhi spurns the chance to award a 4th one, and Fiorentina are furious. And they want the linesman to be consulted. It seemed to strike, first of all, Filippo Galli, and then bounce up towards Baresi. And in the context of the game, you can't blame Fiorentina for launching their appeal. Cavani. Dunga. Dell'Olio. Nappi. Baggio, 3 to his left. Rijkaard retrieving it, stretching the leg, clean as a whistle. On from Van Basten. Oh, and it might come for Donadoni here. It has done. Can Milan seal it all with a 4th goal in injury time? Rijkaard can collect it, but doesn't. There is the final whistle. It wasn't necessary in any case. Magic from Milan in the second half. They played pretty well in the first, were a goal down then, and Kubik made it worse in the first minute of the second half, and that would have finished off so many teams, but not this one. Evani, and then the 2 penalties from Van Basten, and certainly the referee a central figure in this game, which finishes Fiorentina 2, Milan 3.